Hello and welcome to Agrestal Vestige, where we are vested in all things Agrestal. My name is Tom and I'm here with you yet again another week with a blended Scotch whiskey review. This week we have quite a unique blended Scotch whiskey. This one is Pig's Nose. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's not overly common, but it can be found at on occasion in places. Usually you'll go to a large shop and they'll have at least one or two bottles laying around, and it's typically beside another bottle. This is a blended Scotch whiskey. It's always next to another bottle that comes from the same bottler called Sheep Dip, which I'll be reviewing a little later on, quite a bit later on actually, when I get into my vatted malts. It's a blended malt or vatted malt. This is a blended Scotch whiskey. Okay, this is bottled at 40%. So it's a standard strength bottling. However, I came across Pig's Nose many years ago, probably in the mid to late 90s, and I tried it on suggestion of a friend. I liked it then, and the older I get and the more the years go by, I continue to like it. It is a very interesting whiskey. On the nose, you get like fresh sweet fruits, like apples, pears, various melons, just fresh fruits. There's a touch of lemon peel. There's a very faint, and I mean faint, peatiness to it. Kind of a Highland peatiness, Highland smoke, but very faint. It's not a predominant thing. The malt barley is definitely present. Kind of a sweetish brandy note to it. I mean, on the nose, it's quite complex to be a 40% ABV blended Scotch whiskey. So what are we going to get with this on the palate? That's interesting. Usually you get sweet and sour if you're going to get a combination profile, but this is an odd combination profile. You get salty sweet. There is quite a unique saltiness to this, and just behind it is a sweetness, and also you get a nice toffee note. Like fresh cut hay, the way fresh cut hay smells in a hay field. That's what you get the flavor of on the palate. Bay leaf. There's definitely bay leaf there. It's rather thick, actually. Thick and oily for a blended Scotch whiskey at 40%. You get some wood spice. There's a hint of fresh mint. you get black pepper. On the finish is short to medium. I mean, it's not an abrupt finish. It's sort of a medium finish. And that's where the peat comes through a little bit more evidently. Not much, but you on the finish you do get more evidence of the peat there. Again, Highland peat. There's a citrusness to it, like a grapefruit, and like there's a caramel there, but it's almost like a bitter caramel on the finish. Interesting. Now, since this is only 40%, but it is oily, I'm going to add 2 milliliters of water to this. Had it been not as oily, I wouldn't have added that much. We'll see what this does. But the story behind Pig's Nose, as I gathered it, is upon it being blended and distributed amongst the natives of the person so blending it, they would try this and come back, and I hate this expression, but they say, ooh, it is smooth. It is smooth as a pig's nose. Hence the name Pig's Nose. I hate the word smooth in reference to whiskey because it says nothing at all. What it really says is, oh, I don't taste any ethanol, or I have a slightly less ethanol, or if it's not smooth, a greater ethanol. That's all it really says. I hate the word smooth in reference to whiskey, and you shouldn't use it. Say what it properly is. Ooh, there's not much ethanol presence there in the flavor, or there's more. Smooth, it means absolutely nothing. It's overused, it's cliche. It's just damn silly in my opinion. But if you wish to continue, but nobody's going to take you serious in the whiskey realm if you start using the word smooth. That's my opinion. Anyway, after adding the water, what do we have? That's interesting. You get like a fresh sweet corn, or a field corn. You pull it off the stalk, you shuck it, you smell it. That's what you're getting here after adding the water. You're getting green grapes. Fresh green grapes. And there's a slight maritimeness about this. I mean, I guess that goes back to the saltiness that we had on the palate earlier. But there is a maritime aspect to this. Slight vanilla. A slight buttercream type cake frosting. And after adding the water, it becomes the oiliness, the thickness of it, it becomes in a nice way, very creamy and buttery. Now, after adding the water, you're getting more of the white chocolate note. The white chocolate, more earthiness to it. Almost like an oat, you know, like the grain oats, but like a puffed oat. Puffed oat, earthiness, white chocolatey. Now the finish, there is quite a distinct aspect of banana. It is quite a well-balanced whiskey between you know, the nose, the arrival, the development, and the finish, it kind of continues through. It don't just spike like some that aren't blended well. This is obviously blended very well by someone who knows what they're doing, because it's an older whiskey actually. It's not new. It's been out for quite a long time, and it's blended by someone that knows what they're doing, and you can definitely tell that this matured in top quality cask. This wasn't third or fourth fill cask. Probably American oak. You get a English walnuts, not black walnuts, but English walnuts type flavor, and that's mainly on the finish, along with a heavy whipped cream, vanilla-ish whipped cream, honeysuckle, caramel type flavor profile to it. But on the finish, it's a very interesting banana flavor, which is quite nice. And I can't remember. Let me see. I'm trying to see. There is no age statement on here. Now I know its big brother, Sheep Dip, has an age statement, but I'm reading the bottle now. It says this exceptional whiskey's smoothness is rooted in using only the finest first-class malt whiskies and marrying these with gentle grain whiskies to produce a Scotch whiskey that is truly as soft as a pig's nose. Right. That's nice. But you can tell what they say. I mean, this is top quality whiskeys in here. Even the grain whiskeys have been matured properly. If I had to guess an age on these whiskeys that's in this bottle, I would say the youngest probably is a 5-year-old. And the oldest is probably an 8 to 10-year-old, if I had to guess. It doesn't say anything about chill filtration. It doesn't say anything about the addition of caramel. It is bottled at 40% rather than a higher strength. However, it does maintain a nice oiliness to it, and it does release flavors after the addition of water, which a lot of 40% ABVs do not, or at least not that much. So in saying that, I would have to rank this, because it's a very complex whiskey. It's a very nice profile. The balance is uniquely spot on. So I can't give it higher marks because it didn't declare about the filtration of the colorant added. I don't see a lot of this orangey type caramel E150A colorant type glow to it. So I don't think, if E150A has been added at all, it has been in small amounts. Not sure about the chill filtration. I would hazard a guess that it would be very minimal if at all, because of the oiliness of this whiskey. Because chill filtration strips the oils out of a whiskey. It should say that. It doesn't. But this label that we have here, it's the bottler's or the distiller's contract, really. It has with the ultimate end consumer. So this should relay everything about the whiskey. Lots of them don't. Many of them do. The ones who do, I reward with a higher rating. I love the profile of this whiskey. The price of this whiskey, it's not the cheapest. It's around $40 to $50 pounds euros. But at 40 ABV, not a lot on the contract, the label. Even though it's a nice, complex, robust whiskey, I would have to rate it at about an 87. Now, had it had more for me to go by on the label, it could have been higher. But it's not a hot whiskey. As I said, even the grain whiskey's been very well maturated, as well as the malts in here. I'm not sure how many malts make up this blend, but they've all been matured properly, blended meticulously, and it delivers a good quality, youngish type dram. Very enjoyable. However, 87 out of 100 is what I feel comfortable giving it. This is Pig's Nose blended Scotch whiskey. If any of you have had any interactions with Pig Nose, I'd like to hear about it. Leave it in the comments. Subscribe, press the notification and all that. I'd appreciate it. Just let me know what you think. It's not uncommon. It's quite possible you've came across it before. Whether you wanted to pull the trigger on it at the price point or not, don't know. I did and have been repeating it for a few decades now. And I enjoy it occasionally. It's a nice little treat. Nothing more to say about Pig's Nose. Until next time, this is Tom. Bye-bye.